understanding and becoming, I don't want to say an expert, but at least getting to know the platform extremely well. And then, you can hire the experts to do everything else. But that's one huge issue with every platform you want to expand into. Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today we're going to be discussing how to sell on multiple marketplaces with ease. We're also going to be looking into why multi-channel sales is an issue, how do sellers solve these issues, and what mistakes sellers are making. All right, everybody, welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Just like I said, we're going to be talking about how to sell on multi-marketplaces with ease. Our guest has more than 15 years in sales and business development for more than 10 of those years. He's also wanted to help the community. He wanted to help the community, and Noverstock was the perfect place to go and do so. Now, his journey is focused on multi-channel sellers and of course, all the sellers that need a partner in their sales expansion. Now, I'm talking about first-time guest, Georgi Damyanov. Okay, now before we get to Georgi, we're going to go to a word from our sponsor.
This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by VAA Philippines. Looking for a high-quality virtual assistant for your business? With the rigorous screening, intensive Amazon and Walmart training, and ongoing professional development, get the peace of mind with skilled and motivated virtual assistants for a long-term working relationship. Hire through VAA today, and now let's get back to the show.
Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, enjoy the show, and welcome our guest, Georgi.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you, Norm?
I am doing excellent. Thank you. And I
have
my
great
coffee
artwork
here
behind you.
I have, oh God.
Great artwork, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like somebody threw something against the wall. It's a beautiful room, but anyway, I'm excited about this. Multi-channel is definitely the way to go. If you were to ask me 5 years ago about it, I wouldn't say it's that important. Now, it is probably one of the more critical things to do with your Amazon account. You go through, you do a course, and you think you're set. You're not. It's important to get to multi-channel. And why don't we just talk about that for a second? Why is this such an issue, especially when it has to do with sales?
I can describe it with a personal story if
Sure.
that will help relate the audience even better. So our co-founders, they have been selling in the beauty category for many, many years, more than 10. And they actually found themselves in this situation, selling multi-channel and having difficulties to manage and run the whole thing because especially during the pandemic times, the number of orders was skyrocketing, and it was just very difficult to handle. So they were looking for something to help them. And at the end of the day, they decided to create their own software. And since they felt those challenges and the problems, they realized that a lot of other sellers were also facing these issues. So they decided to, open this up commercially. So wherever I go, this topic of multi-channel sales has been very, people have been interested in it. Either they're about to face it or they're facing it at the moment. Because, yeah, you could be selling on Amazon. And let's take an easy example, selling on Amazon USA. At some point, you would like to expand and take your product to Amazon Germany, Amazon UK, Spain, Italy, whatever the case might be. And that's another sales channel. And then another one. Don't get me started on other marketplaces and platforms. Open up your own Shopify store, open an eBay account, etc., etc. And yeah, it's a roller coaster from there.
Is it worth it? Because if you think of the elephant in the room, Amazon, right? And then
Right.
you've got everybody else that's underneath it. I think if you combined everybody else, they don't make up the sales. But like if you take a look at, like you said, Shopify. Well, the problem with Shopify, if it's a problem, is you don't have that captivated audience. You got to go and find them. And if you don't know the right techniques, that could be a problem. If you go to Walmart, they're not there. Is it really worth going and exploring these options?
You said the right word. It's exploring. I mean, you gotta test the waters and see where your customers are, and that's what we've seen a lot of people. So, I'm located in Bulgaria, in Sofia. So here in Europe, you have all these regional marketplaces which are particular for one or a couple of countries. And then you have the big players like Amazon and eBay, and then Shopify. So it really depends, and it boils down to your strategy, how you want to attack a particular region and how you want to, place yourself. It's absolutely true that the biggest number of customers may be found on Amazon, but you never know what you can expect when you offer your products on another platform. Maybe they got new users. You mentioned Walmart, and here in Europe, we have some uprisers like Kaufland, for example, a big marketplace that's gaining popularity. So really, it boils down to the strategy that you want to do, and it's a little bit trial and error, but trust me, whenever you're in this situation, this is what happened to us. We were selling, and then you receive orders from all these different places. You scale all of them, and that's when the issues come. It's a nice problem to have, but it's difficult to tackle it in the short period of time that you have before it becomes too overwhelming.
So when you are exploring these marketplaces, is it safe to say you're kind of beta testing each one? You might just get it set up on Walmart, test a little bit. And the reason I'm asking this is because a beta test or a test in the marketplace, you might have to put quite a bit of effort into it to get it to that point. Like I know Walmart fairly well. I know it like the back of my hand. And I know that you have to do certain things to make sure that sales start to happen or to optimize those sales. Now, I'm not an expert when you go down to some of these other platforms, but each one, it looks like you've got to send in inventory. For the most part, you've got to send in inventory. You've got to set it up. I know Walmart is 100% different than Amazon when it comes to all sorts of different things, from listing structure to keyword optimization to PPC.
Absolutely.
But you've got to do that for each one of these, including Shopify. So if you're in Shopify, WooCommerce, whatever it is it, I don't want to say is it worth it again, but these are issues that I don't know how much inventory I would, and how much time and energy I would put into each one. And by the way, I'm just asking this question. I'm in all sorts of different channels, and I see the value in it, but I'm just wanting you to explain, those issues and trying to test.
In our experience, it has been worth it, especially in the last few years, because now you got to ask yourself, you do this beta test, and what if you actually succeed? So I believe that everybody should do the effort and see what kind of outcome they will get. From all the people that I've talked to, it's all been positive. It's just, it requires time and effort. And this is actually where we come in, because we can save time with our platform, and you have the free hours to think about that expansion. And you said, so each different marketplace like Walmart has its own specifics. Even I'll go one level deeper. When you're here in Europe, each country, you need to have a registration in each one. So that's another thing to worry about, even legal documentation. But at the end of the day, I would say that it's worth it. And a lot of sellers are finding it out in many, many different verticals, in automotive industry, in beauty, in crafts, fashion, especially, you name it. So I would say it's worth it, especially if you have a product and you think that it will be successful because there's not the same or an alternative product on a specific market. Why not try?
So what about the sales achievement? Should a $10,000 a month take a look at spreading out, or 50,000 or 100,000? Where do you get to that level where you should say, okay, let's flip over and let's try another marketplace?
Well, I will speak again from experience. I would say somewhere in the 50K range, then you can really think about something else, because at that point you may have the systems in place that will allow you to free up the time to look into it, and to have the, like, in some companies you would need personnel as well, and automation in order to, you know, free up time to think strategically and do those moves, and to do the research, because there's specific in every country, in every marketplace that you want to go for. So I would say that 50K is a very fairly reasonable mark, and that's what we've seen, even here in Europe and in the US as well.
Just a different rabbit hole altogether. Why does Bulgaria have such incredible, just not only sellers, but service providers?
I'm not sure, but
it's crazy.
I'm not sure why, but yeah, you even, like, if you go on Amazon US, Amazon.co.uk, Amazon DE, and all the other marketplaces, I mean, if you search, there are a lot of Bulgarian sellers that, you know, they can keep inventory in different places, but still they're very good distributors and very good sellers. I'm not sure why. There's a great concentration, and with the concentration of sellers, I guess that provokes the need to have these service providers as well. That's my logic, at least.
You know, between you and the Israelis, there's such a huge concentration of really good sellers. If I go to Israel, I'm blown away. If I go to Bulgaria, which I've never been invited, but I would love to go to Bulgaria, but I know a ton of people that are there. And excuse me, it's really incredible to see that a lot of the brains behind the systems and the apps that we're learning are coming from Romania or Bulgaria. It's very interesting to see how it plays out. And I'm going to give you an example. Okay, yeah. So I know that you guys call a meetup, and like just in general, when I say you guys, okay, but if in Bulgaria you call a meetup, 500 people will show up. In our city of Toronto, okay, and I don't say this happily, but we've had a group that if on a good day at the height, we would call a meeting, 17 people would show up.
Well, yeah.
You know, and it's just unfortunate because Toronto's a huge city with lots of Amazon sellers. And it's like they want to be solopreneurs and don't understand the value of networking. So I'm just saying that because I'm still trying to stir the pot in Toronto to be a bit more active. I know Titan came up and had a really good meeting up here, but you know, we've got that. I'm not going to say the name of the group. I don't want to get, you know, but you know, I'm one of the administrators there, and there's about 3 people posting over the last 3 months. So come on, Toronto, let's get going. Okay, and also, and I told you, Kelsey probably warned you I go down different rabbit holes. But also, this is a topic where we've got a bunch of listeners on right now. I know the people that are in the comment section. I know you must be interested in omnichannel. And if you are in omnichannel, what are the pros? What are the cons? What have you come up against? Throw it into the comment section. Also, questions. You're here with Georgie right now, and he can answer these questions. So I think it's very important, which kind of leads to the next thing. If you're doing this for the first time, sellers are making a ton of mistakes. I did. Why don't we talk about, you know, the mistakes that you're seeing, the basic mistakes?
Yeah, absolutely. It will be very interesting to see what people write in the chat, because everyone faces different problems, especially in the beginning. I can sum up some of the ones that we see with the people that we work with. And the first one is I would say, kind of the honeymoon phase, the first 6 months after you open a new channel, when you think you're successful, but at the end of the day, it turns out that you're actually not. And yeah, we call it the honeymoon phase because that's what it is when you're shocked by the numbers at the end. So we've found out how to tackle that problem, and we're very successful at doing it. Then you might run into a problem of not having enough time to do the management of these marketplaces just because of the specifics and the differences. And you start hiring consultants to see what exactly you need to do, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas we also have some automations in place that help you do everything in seconds. And it's just a matter of just getting used to working with the platform, which is not a big deal, I would say. And yeah, these are kind of the two big ones.
Right. So I've always found that understanding the platform in Amazon, for example, just imagine if you didn't take a course or knew nothing about Amazon, you're just trying to throw it up. You know, it's such a beast, and if you don't know it, you're losing sales. You're paying your Amazon tax. That's the same with Walmart. It's the same with Shopify. So understanding and becoming, I don't want to say an expert, but at least getting to know the platform extremely well. And then, you can hire the experts to do everything else. But that's one huge issue with every platform you want to expand into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So we are at the bottom of the hour already. And by the way, Redbeard, Edmonton has some of the greatest sellers in digital marketing. Scott Cunningham and his whole group is in Edmonton. AMZ One Step, their local office is there, but they have a huge office in Pakistan. It's a huge operation. Excuse me for a sec while I cough. Too many cigars last night. You can hear that crackle in my voice. I don't have to worry about hangovers. I have to, what is it, a tobacco hangover? Oh my gosh, too many. But let's see, it's the bottom of the hour. And at the bottom of the hour, if this is the first time you're watching Wheel of Kelsey, this is the first time you're watching Lunch with Norm, we always give away a giveaway at the top of the hour. We call it the Wheel of Kelsey. If you're interested in Wheel of Kelsey, you've never heard of it before, to enter, you have to enter hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. If you tag 2 people, you'll get a second entry. Now, on that note, what is the giveaway today?
Yeah, so
and that's over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so the giveaway what we decided to do for today's listeners is actually, so our company, we offer a 30-day free trial for the platform if you want to test out the services. For the giveaway, we'll give another 30 days, so another month for free, which will really give you the chance to see the services and how they actually save you time and money. And we'll also throw in a personal customer success manager that will help you get onboarded, deal with every issue that might come up. Not many of those do actually, but there's someone to hold your hand throughout the whole process. And if you need to ask someone, that you got a buddy to do that. And of course, they will do a lot of the things like fine-tuning the system for you as well. You don't need to figure out anything for yourself.
So just in case, well, first of all, this is something that Noverstock doesn't do on a regular basis. This has been specially customized for the Lunch with Norm crowd. So if you're interested in getting into multi-channel, or if you're already there, you're going to have a personal, basically it's going to be almost a personal coach helping you out. Plus, it's 60 days to try it out. So check it out. Hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people. And we're going to come back. We'll talk about, there's still a bunch of questions, but we'll talk about what your company does and why people should check it out. And I don't have anything to do with it. Don't have an affiliate code. Don't have anything like that. But we'll get to that. Let's see. Let's hit the sponsor and we'll come right back.
This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by Rebate. Attention sellers and brand owners, want to reach more shoppers and boost sales? Rebate's platform connects sellers with shoppers seeking great deals on new products. They make it easy to offer promotions, handle rebates, and ensure seamless redemptions. With countless reviews from satisfied customers, Rebate is the go-to solution to increase your sales. Visit rebate.com today and start reaching more shoppers. Now let's get back to the show.
Okay, we are back. Let's get some questions in here. Come on, guys. I know that there's a bunch of questions about omnichannel. Don't be shy. Any question's a good question, okay? If it's a very simple question, I can guarantee you there's 100 other people trying to, or that are going to ask that question, but they just don't want to type it in. So get those questions in here or comments about some of your multi-channel either success stories or horror stories. Okay, let's talk about your company just for a second, because you know when we're talking about this Wheel of Kelsey prize, just so people understand what Noverstock is, can you just kind of, in a brief summary, what does the company do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a SaaS application. It's basically a platform, and all the sales channels that you have, and I'll give an example. You might have, let's say, a couple of Amazon stores. You might have an Amazon, an eBay, Shopify, a WordPress, you name it. So the more sales channels, the more difficult it gets to run the business. So our platform is an ERP system for your business. All the sales channels are there. You got all your orders in one place, and you can process each order in a matter of seconds. I'm not kidding. Our record for processing one order is 5 seconds. And yeah, and this is not, we're not talking about FBA here. I'll talk about FBA in just a second, because there are some specifics. So we integrate the shipping carriers so that you can process those orders. And with those come, of course, your suppliers, your warehouses. So any movements in stock, you control everything from the listings, the stock, what happens with all the inventory. You can do stock takes. There are many different options in the platform. And the reason why I mentioned that FBA is separate is like some FBA people might be wondering what's in it for them as well. There's a specific section for the refunds, returns, and reimbursements to be followed, because sometimes with FBA, that topic, it becomes a mess, and that's what we've seen with our accounts. So we have a specific section where you follow these things to the nickel, and you know exactly how much money you've lost or what you had to pay on, what exactly happened to the products and to the money, where it all went. And just to finish it off, I told you about, you know, this honeymoon phase. The solution that we have is like, you might be thinking about omnichannel right now, and you have a product, let's say it works on Walmart, you want to take it to Amazon somewhere in Europe. Let's say that that's the case. So you don't know how to price that item. We have a calculator that shows you what the optimal price will be. And it's not a typical calculator where you put all the variables and it spits out the price. You only put the desired margin, and we'll tell you the right price for the right country, for the right marketplace. So we fine tune it first, and then you can use it by just putting in the desired margin. Then, of course, you can measure up against the competition and see where exactly you need to price it. And the good thing is that you get your full margin. Nothing will eat it up. We take into account all the expenses that you might incur, like VAT, like Amazon fees, you know, that they can differ. They can go up at any moment as well. So they can be volatile. The shipping costs, you name it. There's so many items that can go wrong with the price.
Okay. All right. Now, another thing I should talk about, I'm interested in, who are your partners?
We partner with a lot of Amazon agencies, and being omnichannel, we also have partners for the other marketplaces and platforms as well. So we are an eBay partner directly as well. We're listed on the website as a partner. We partner with a lot of agencies for the platforms where you can have or design your own website. One example is Shopify. We already talked about it, but there are many like Magento, WordPress, and many, many others. And we also partner with a lot of like influencers such as yourself as well. And being omnichannel, this is the one difficult thing to handle, that the geography is not a limitation. So we constantly talk to people from all the countries, and there's so many different conversations, so many demands, that we're having very diverse conversations, which is actually good. So partners, I would say, in each country. You and I met, or we saw each other briefly in Istanbul, and a lot of the people that were there at the event that we have in common, like people that we know in common, are a lot of our partners as well. If you remember the boat trip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For
that
sure.
we were. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and again, an event bringing people together. I knew of you beforehand, but we got to meet actually on the boat trip. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some success stories. Can you give us any case studies or success stories about what your app or the company's been able to pull off?
Yeah, I will give you two success stories that will blow your mind. It's like the first one is a large retailer in the beauty space. So we're talking about cosmetics, and what they were doing is like they had a few Amazon accounts, they had a few of their own websites. I think in total it was like 8 sales channels that they had, and they were processing one order for 30 seconds, and they were very proud of it. Once they started working with us, I already mentioned this, we lowered the processing time to 5 seconds. Think about the savings that you're making in time. If you have thousands of orders per day to process, 6 times reduction is a huge difference.
Right.
And then like the success story or the line here is that 2 of the crew members, they became redundant. They didn't need them, but they didn't fire them. Actually, they opened an eBay account. So they started selling even more. And that to me is a great success story.
Okay, very good.
I can tell you.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us another.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to give you another one on pricing, because that's another big issue. Trust me, we didn't know that it was an issue until we met some people that, like, we had a customer that was selling on a few Amazon marketplaces. It was 6 of them. So it was all in Europe. He wasn't selling in the US yet, but 6 Amazon marketplaces in Europe. And he was using the same price because he was using the euro currency in all of the countries here in Europe, but he was putting the same exact price. But there are a lot of fees that are local, and he didn't take that into account. So he was convinced that he had only one channel that was profitable, which was absolutely not the case. We redesigned the pricing, and all 6 channels became profitable. He started getting the deserved margin that he wanted. In some cases, it could have been a small margin, but he was in the green zone, which is exactly what sellers want. And having a platform like this where you get all these automations makes this process extremely easy. Like, I'm pronouncing these success stories in a few sentences, but it took like a week or 2 to get everything in order. And from there, it's just an easy ride for them.
Okay. That's something I've never thought about, really. And that's a great point. And once again, if you want to check it out, go over to Noverstock, check out the company. And if you're interested, hit them up and see what you can do with your company. So I'm a firm believer that being a single legged stool is not the way to go. I've been saying that for a while. And if you do that, and Amazon, one day you get that email that says you're suspended. And I've had that email a few times. So just do yourself a favor, check out these other options, and who knows, maybe they'll end up taking off. And on that note, that's why this Walmart summit that we're doing is so important, because talking with Macau, so she got me involved with Walmart years ago, And all of a sudden, no, it's just a small platform. It's just a small platform. Well, guess what? Sales are catching up. And well, June, we really started to see a change in either the algorithm or the sales. Some of the products that we were bringing to market, they were actually outselling Amazon in some cases. Now, these are specific categories, but there are still tons of margin. And why would you not want to be on the marketplace when it's just launching? You'll have that extra oomph once the algorithm and once more and more competitors come on, you'll already be on there. So why not even take advantage of it? So that's why, Walmart, then Shopify, and then, and don't miss out on retail. Retail is another whole area we don't even talk about, but that's another area that is probably bigger than your Amazon account, Walmart account, marketplace all put together. And that'll be another podcast. Let's take some questions, Kels.
Okay, we've got a couple questions coming in. First one is from Cool Hand. I currently have presence on multiple platforms, but I put no focus on any of them aside from Amazon. At what point is it worth dividing focus to other channels? What is that point?
All right. So, so there are a few ways to look into this, I would say. So you might have a few Amazon sales channels. They can be only Amazon. And maybe you want to see where you're going to be the most successful. And that's why I would do the beta test and focus on a lot of them. And let's define the word focus. I mean, yeah, it's true that wherever you put focus, the greater the output, the expected output would be. But in general, when you have a system, a platform with automations such as Noverstock, the focus is not the issue, because actually you're doing everything in seconds. So really what you're doing is expanding. And that's why here there needs to be like a shift of perspective. Let's say that you are focusing on Amazon, but you also have an eBay account. As Norm said, you might get one day, the bad message that your account cannot be used for a little while or forever. You don't know, you don't know how long. So you might have to rely on your other channels to sustain the business. So nowadays, having the option of going into multiple countries, using local suppliers and carriers, and doing business in many countries is just a blessing that we all have as sellers. So we need to take full advantage. So I would say, yes, you definitely need to experiment, but you definitely need to have a system in place so that it's not focus, but rather these are complementary income streams for you. And who knows, like your Walmart could outperform a certain category. Right now in Europe, there's a trend that we're seeing with a marketplace called Kaufland. Kaufland obviously has these, the retail stores as well. But now with their marketplace, they're expanding so quickly, and people are finding out that a lot of the products are actually worth it putting up there in specific categories that has been expanding like crazy. So that's just one equivalent of what Walmart is doing in USA. So yeah, I would say you definitely need to experiment, and you will see that with a platform like Noverstock, it's not that difficult to place focus. Actually, we'll have more time.
So thinking beyond the topic today, what are you seeing other than, let's just get into multi-channel, but what are you seeing are some trends that are happening in fourth quarter 2023 going into 2024?
So multi-channel in itself is the huge trend, and that's what we're tackling. That's what we decided to do with this with our platform. So right now, the current trend that we're observing is people going very regional. And I'll tell you, maybe it's because I'm based in Europe that I see this. So you go on Amazon, and being the big marketplace, you attract customers from everywhere and sellers from everywhere. But when you go regional, you actually capture these people that want specific items and they cannot find them anywhere else, or they're just, for whatever reason, don't want to be on Amazon or eBay, the big players. So going to a specific country, you get these niche categories where your products could be ideal because they just didn't exist there before. And when you offer something new, it's actually a huge hit. Like, I will just give you this example. Here in Bulgaria, I have a seller who's a friend of mine. He's also a customer, but he's also a good friend of mine. And he went to Romania, neighboring country, and he was selling a particular item. I'm not going to name the item, but because he was pretty much the first to get in there, he was selling with 150% profit. Like his margin was 150%. And that to me is another success story. So I'm really seeing these regional success stories and trends happening right now.
Okay, Kels, let's, I think there's one more question.
So we had a question just quickly from Steve. What was the platform you were just talking about? If we could spell it.
Our platform is Noverstock, Noverstock. So it's a wordplay from no overstock. The idea is that one of the modules in Noverstock is actually the inventory management. And this is one of the things that people are mostly looking for if you're, of course, not an FBA seller. So if you have inventory and you want to be able to control it, so we do have something that we call the lifetime of a product. So if you have multiple sales channels, let's say you have 10, just as an example, you have 10 sales channels, you can see where you send your item to, as in a warehouse, you're paying inventory costs, what channel and where does it sell best. So you can do optimization of your business. So where to put specific items for a specific category, where do they sell best, so that you are paying minimum fees and you get maximum profit. So you can never oversell because you always know what stock you have. So this is, let's say that you're selling an item on multiple sales channels. Whenever you sell one item in one place, the quantity of the other items automatically updates. So you're always informed about what you have in stock, what you're going to sell. You can never sell more. You cannot undersell or oversell. And you do really good forecasts for your business in terms of ordering more stock and projections for what you're going to be selling the next quarter. So really, it's a great business tool for even rising businesses and for those that are already too big to handle the workload. So that's why it's no overstock, Noverstock.
Okay.
Okay, and what was the name of the European market that you mentioned?
Are we talking about the marketplace that I mentioned?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Kaufland, it's business similar to Walmart, but it's Kaufland, Kaufland, and we're partnering with them as well.
All right,
okay,
very
perfect.
good.
If anybody's interested in that marketplace, just message me. I'll give you more information because that's a whole another topic by itself.
Okay, and that's perfect timing because we've just finished the questions. And how do people get a hold of you?
So Noverstock.com is the website. And if you go to the book a demo section, obviously it goes to a team email, but me as a business development manager, I read that email. So I will see that it came from someone from this audience, and I will try to take those personally and respond to them or call you and work individually with you. And then if you want to email me directly, the easiest way is just sales@noverstock.com. I have someone looking over the email, but again, if I see someone that is looking at that is coming from this audience, from the podcast, I'll prioritize that.
Okay, very good. Okay, so like we said a few minutes ago, we are giving away a really great giveaway, and that's going to be 2 months on the platform for free. Plus, you're going to have a customer success manager. It's a dedicated customer success manager to help you with your succeeding your goals. Now, if you want to get in on that, we still have about 30 seconds, and that's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people, and you'll get a second entry. Now, Kels, let's go over to a sponsor, and we'll be right back for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Facing cash flow challenges with your e-commerce business? Discover Viably, your ultimate financial ally. From real-time sales data integrations to immediate funding access, Viably is here to support you. Plan your growth with their free tool for online sellers and engage with specialists whenever you need. Extend your cash flow with Viably.
Okay, there we go. Let's see. Kelsey, why don't you come back, do the Wheel of Kelsey? You'll get muted, of course, Kelsey, like you normally do, and then you can come back.
All right, here we go. Here is the Wheel of Kelsey.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Okay, where is the wheel? Perfect. And
all right, so I should
there
be
you're
back
back.
now.
Oh my God, you're actually, I can hear you.
That's crazy. It's still messing up on my side, but here we go. Here's the Wheel of Kelsey. We do this every single episode. If you are the winner, please email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com. And let's see who today's winner is. Looks like Jan and Tata.
All right.
And Norm, I know we do have the giveaway from Joe's episode 2. Did you want to spin that as well?
Yeah,
Or
why
save
don't we do
that?
that?
Okay,
So
so we
Joe
have
was on. Joe was on talking about AI and her AI newsletter on, when was that, Kels? Was it on Wednesday?
Wednesday. Yeah. So we're gonna spin those winners, those entries from last Wednesday, and see who the winner for that is.
Yeah, that was a great prize too.
It looks like it is Gabriel.
Very good. All right. Congrats, Gabriel.
All right. So we got 2 winners today. Okay. So I think that's it.
So how do they claim the prize, Kels?
All right. So they have to email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com. I'm going to try and reach out to Gabriel because in case he's not watching this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are the winner in the future, always email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com, and we'll connect you with your prize.
Okay. I guess it was Tom asking about the Wednesday winner. Yeah. So just done, Tom. Okay. That's it. Thank you so much for being on today. It was a great podcast, learning more about omnichannel. Thanks so much. And I got to check out Noverstock. I haven't used it. It would be great to try to use it just to play around with it. But anyways, we're going to get you back here. It might not be this month or next month, but it'll be sometime within the next year. So thanks again for coming on and bumping into you in Istanbul.
Yeah. Thank you, Norm, as well.
Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcasts, click over here.
Lunch with